Welcome to the Coffee with Cheryl podcast, the podcast for women over 50 who want to live their best life right now. Imagine having the courage to reinvent your life financially, professionally, personally, and spiritually. Join Cheryl and guests as they share practical tips and resources to inspire you to achieve the lifestyle of your dreams. So grab your favorite mug. It's time for Coffee with Cheryl.
Welcome to the Coffee with Cheryl podcast, a podcast for women over 50 who want to live their best life right now. I am your host, Cheryl Garrison. I am an author. I am a coach. I am passionate about everything that deals with women over 50. And today we are finishing our series on living your best life as an author. And I am pleased to have with me today Murial Williams, who is one of the authors that I have had the pleasure to work with. And you will meet Muriel in just a few minutes. As always, we start our podcast with a quote, and I'm going to read our quote today, and then you will get a chance to find out who Muriel is and how she has become an author at least 3 times that I know of, and I've been pleased to work with her, having something to do with at least 2 of those projects. So our quote today is, "And what you ask does writing teach us? First and foremost, it reminds us that we are alive, and that is a gift and privilege, not a right." And that is a quote by Ray Bradbury, who is a famous writer and screenwriter. And then the second quote is, "Don't be a writer, be writing." We can all write, but if we're not writing and putting our thoughts and our feelings and our expertise on paper, then it just stays with us. And so the beauty of publishing books and doing articles and writing blogs is sharing what you know or sharing your experiences with the world. So don't be a writer, be writing. And so I'm so excited to have you with us today, Muriel Williams. And Muriel, she is the CEO of Grapeseed Business and Educational Consulting, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about who you are, Muriel.
Well, greetings, everyone. I am Murial Shulterbrandt Williams. I am a mother, grandmother, author, educator, and an entrepreneur.
Now, you have had the privilege of working in different platforms, and I know right now you are working with helping people get their child care centers starting, providing the education and the prerequisite education they need to successfully start a child care business. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And so you're at the end of this podcast, Muriel is going to share her information because she offers classes for if you're interested in starting a daycare or being part of child care. You might want to sign up for Muriel's online class and learn how to get it started correctly. And she has this class and she's offering a discount, and you'll find that out at the end of the podcast today. Muriel, tell us about your books. I know you've written 3 books that I know of.
Okay, the first love of my life is Mimi, which is this book here.
That's Mimi's Fall and Autumn Experience, right?
Autumn Fall Experience.
Uh-huh. And then, so I know Mimi, just because of working with you, Mimi is you, right?
Well, sort of.
Tell us about who Mimi is and why you wrote this book and what it's about.
I chose the name Mimi because my uncle called me Mimi as a child, so I
Mhm.
use it. But the reason why I created this book is coming from the Virgin Islands, where I came from. All temperature is the same year round. So I had the experience of noticing the different changes while living in the state of New York. So therefore, I created this book. It says Autumn Fall Experience, based on an 8-year-old little girl who had come to New York for the very first time to visit her grandmother. We were so excited about the changing leaves. I thought I would use this book not only to talk about the changing leaves, but to associate the leaves with, today's daily life, as far
Mhm.
as the leaves are all part of one tree,
Right,
different colors. So what I did, I tried to make the connection, make it a teachable moment where we can show children it is okay to be different, but we are all the same because we are all, we are all people, but
right.
we are different. So this book is was brought out of the fall experience, but also I wanted to integrate a lesson where children can see is it's okay to be different, learn
Right,
how to appreciate differences and same at an early age. So I thought it would have been would be a good teachable moment, and you will get the children while they're still at that impressionable age where they can understand no one is the same. No one is exactly the same, but we're the same in some ways.
right. That's a beautiful lesson to teach. And being an educator, especially in early childhood, it's important that our children know that we are all from the same tree and our differences are just that, but we are all connected. Now, your second book is more of an educational book. That's the one I was able to just help you with in a very just
Yes,
getting the cover done for you, but the content, yeah, it's Math My Way, the Easy Way,
yes,
and it's for K through 5.
yes, it is.
Yes, and so tell us why you wrote that book.
As an educator for the past years, I have worked with a special needs population.
Hmm.
And in my capacity, I've noticed the students struggling, especially in the areas of the math word problems. So therefore, I've decided to design a book that is more easily understandable for them, meaning that sometimes the children cannot read. So if you cannot read, it's very difficult to solve the math problems.
Right,
Question is asking you to do an addition, and you have the word addition, and I cannot read addition. I don't know what to do.
right,
So in addition to having the words addition, I have the symbol, the plus sign. So
right,
making it for them to understand. Yes, I have to add. And when it comes to each, I explain to them when it says each, it means every item. It doesn't mean if the problem says this shirt is $4.99 and you have three, the three is $4.99. So I break down every step showing them what they need to do in order to arrive at the answer in different ways.
wow, that's, I know when I looked at your book, having, raised children, I have grandchildren now, I know that if you can make math simple and make math make sense to children, it really helps them as they progress into algebra and all the other parts of math. So I really appreciate this book. Now, you've been able to share this with some educators, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Good, good. And if you are an educator and you know someone who's in early childhood or in the lower grades or elementary, and you want to help Muriel, you can introduce them to her book, and it is available on Amazon. And I believe that if she's working with an educational environment, there's some special ways that you can do that. Is that correct, Muriel?
Yes.
Okay. And then finally, it's the book that I was able to work with you from start to finish, and it was one of my favorite books to work on. Mimi Goes Bilingual. We gave Mimi a new look,
We did.
and but it's really talking about sight words, right?
Yes, sight words. And it's called Mimi Goes Bilingual, and the sight words are from kindergarten to third grade,
Hmm.
and they are available in English, Spanish, and French.
Wow, that's a really good book for, especially for us who have grandchildren, and we want to teach our grandchildren how to be a little bilingual prior to they get to getting into those languages in school. This is a great book to do that. Muriel, you have done books that can truly help children. Now, what led you to make this your mission to help children? What about you made that the thing that you did?
Okay, at the early age of 5, I was told on my first day of school, after coming home from school, I lined up my dolls outside on the rocks. I got my ruler and everything else, and we had the little chalkboard with the beads, skunking beads, etc. And I would teach the children everything that the dolls, thing that I had learned that day. I would tell them to repeat after me. And at that age, I decided that I would become a teacher.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's a
Yeah.
beautiful story. And to take that and have the courage, especially in our 50 somethings, to have the courage to actually step out there and put your knowledge in a book and let people evaluate that. What gave you the courage to write your book?
Well, number one, let's start with Mimi Goes Bilingual. I've noticed the classified ads because I'm always looking for, different things. And as classified ads, help wanted, bilingual, bilingual, bilingual. And I said that most of our children cannot compete
Mhm.
because we are not giving them the necessary tools. We are not giving them the tools that they need. So
Mhm.
let's do the lower grades, and out of every 10, maybe one would decide, okay, I want to learn a different language. So
Mhm.
this is the reason for doing this, because I've noticed that we cannot compete for jobs because we are not equipped. So
Right,
I would, create some type of a tool that would help the children get started.
right. And that's so encouraging, especially for those of us, especially in the 50 something community, who we have an expertise and we see needs that need to be filled, and we keep all that knowledge to ourselves rather than sharing it. So, and it takes a bit of boldness to be able to share that knowledge. When you decided that you were going to write your first book, what was that like? What was the process of doing that? For those who are saying, I think I want to do it, but I'm not really sure. How do I get there? How do I get the courage to do that?
Many years ago, while working for the Department of Social Services, because I worked for social services as a social caseworker and with the Board of Education, so I, had best of both worlds. But what I noticed is that we were not helping. Look, we were given a band-aid. So to me,
Mm-hmm.
that so I decided to write my first book at that time to let people know, well, welfare is a crippler. It keeps you dependent.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we're getting a handout, we're not looking to do anything for ourselves. So that book, I don't know. I was in a taxi going to get the cover done, and I don't know what happened. It seemed like I left a briefcase there. So then I got discouraged. But over the years, I keep saying, I have to do something. I have to do
Mm-hmm.
something. And my love is children, 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 children.
Mm-hmm.
Yours, and everybody else says, I claim them all. I says, you all belong to that. That's who I am. So one morning, about 5 o'clock in the morning, because after contemplating that, oh, I'm too old, I can't do this, I can't do this. So one morning, about 5 o'clock, I woke up, guys, said, get up and write that book, stop procrastinating. I said, I don't feel like getting up. I dozed off again. I woke up again with the same message that says, I don't feel like getting up, putting on any light. But when it came back to me again, it says, girl, pick up your phone. You don't have to put on the light. You have light on your phone. I got up. I wrote Mimi. I went back to sleep. And when I got up, I read the book. I didn't have many mistakes to say. God did this because this is what I'm supposed to do.
Oh, wow. You wrote that book on your phone.
All of my books I wrote on my phone. So what I'm trying to do, anything is possible because everything that we need is within us.
It is, and we use excuses to not do things. And so when I received your manuscript for Mimi Goes Bilingual, it was all done from the phone.
Yes.
And a lot of publishers would have probably said, I just can't touch this. Go, this is not submitted in a way. But my thing is as we get into our 50 somethings, if we have a desire, if there's someone there who can help us to reach that, to fulfill that lifelong desire, then that's my role. That's how I see me in the world of 50 something. So when I received it, there was never a thought that I can't help her. My thought was definitely going to help, because if you have the grit to do it and didn't let the fact that you didn't have a computer in front of you stop you, ladies, listen to what she did and stop making excuses for not getting the things in life done that you want. So, Maria, I really appreciate that. Go ahead.
I thank you so much for dealing with me, decipher all of that mess that I sent to you. Because I'm the owner of 2 computers, and for some reason, I don't know what is happening, but I did not allow that to deter me, because if something needs to be done, I feel like I have a message, I have something to offer, and what good is it to hold it inside of me? It's not helping anyone, it's not helping me, and it's not helping anyone, because my mantra is each one teach one. Because
that's so true.
You and you can learn from me, and each one have a piece of the puzzle. But if we hold a piece, the puzzle will never be complete.
That's so true. And if I could never say that message any better, because my whole thing with 50 something lifestyle is to teach women that it's never too late to do what it is that's in her heart to do. And you are a great example of that, Muriel. And I really appreciate you. We've worked together on other projects, and I've always been of the mindset that if Muriel wants to get it done, together we can get it done. So tell us a little bit of, just now we know your writing history, tell us a little bit about Grapeseed and the kind of coaching that you're attempting. I know you've done some, but I know you want to do it on a bigger scale. Talk about your early childhood program.
Okay, Grapeseed is my baby. I know the name sounds a little different, but the reason for the name Grapeseed is because of my grandmother. Growing up, I lived right next door to her home was a grape tree.
Mm-hmm.
Passed away many, many years ago, but given my project, that name keeps me, in my view, close to her. So that is why the name is Grapeseed. Maybe it doesn't fit very well with what I'm offering, but that is my connection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The other part is being an educator for so many years, starting with the daycare.
Mm-hmm.
I've decided that I could group both pieces together. So my experiences with the daycare, for the New York City Public School, and the social service, I had combined everything together.
Mm-hmm.
And being on the board of directors at the daycare centers has allowed me to be exposed to, so many different things. And I see there's a need for daycare. People are always going to have children.
Mm-hmm.
So there's daycare, but just not daycare, quality daycare.
Right.
So I'm not looking to teach someone to house a daycare and have the students sit in front of television. I'm looking to teach someone how to create a profitable educational
Mm-hmm.
for our children, because children are our future.
Yeah. Now you don't not necessarily just all have programs for people who have a brick and mortar daycare. You also help people who want to start a daycare in their homes, correct?
Yes, if you want to start a daycare in the home, I do not have a problem with that. But being Muriel don't just want you to stay in the home.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to get out of the home. But
Okay.
you're in the home and you have one child. I want you to teach that one child as if you have 100 children. So what
Wow.
I will do is to have the program structured. You need a curriculum. Why are you creating this math project? What stimulation is the child going to receive? What are you hoping to achieve? So these are the things I teach people. I need you to have a structured curriculum, and where depending on the age level, you need to know it's maybe 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, nothing registered. So these are the kind of things I'm trying to teach people. You cannot sit down and plan a 45 minutes lesson for a 4 or 5 year old.
Right, right. Wow.
You take a simple neighborhood walk and you describe, okay, this is a restaurant. This is where people dine. Because sometimes we don't go to the restaurant with our
Right.
children. So all of these are teachable moments. So this is what I try to teach people. Use what you have and expand. You don't have to go out and spend a whole lot of money. Use what you have and expand.
Right. So, Muriel, I know at the end of this podcast, actually, in our comment section, we're going to put your contact information so people will know how to contact you via email or however you need them to contact you on your website. So we'll put all that information in the comments so people can reach you. Now you're offering a 20% discount for anyone who takes your class. Is this a one-on-one class or is this a group class?
It depends on the individual's need. If an individual is not comfortable in a group, then I tailor my program to the individual. If you decide to have a one-on-one, I'm available.
Okay. Okay. So they just need to connect with you, correct?
I'm very flexible and I'm providing the service, but the customer is the recipient and they need to be able to say what they need and what they prefer. And if I'm not able to accommodate their needs, then I should be able to tell them. But
Okay.
I'm very flexible.
Right. Well, Muriel, we've gained a lot of inspiration from you, just learning your process and getting your books done and knowing that you're still running a business well into your 50 somethings. And that's encouraging to all of us. If you're listening to the podcast and you're one of those ladies and you're wondering, I know I've been wanting to share how to, if you even have a skill of cooking, you want to write your own cookbook, something that you've been wanting to share and you've been holding it in, afraid to take that leap, just know that there are people out there who will help you get it done, and don't let anything keep you from reaching that goal, that dream. I
Can I
am, go ahead.
can I add something that maybe would inspire someone? I started college at a very young age, and because of circumstances, I dropped out of college. I was already in my 40s when I received my bachelor's degree. A year later, I received my master's degree. But what I'm trying to say, it's not too late. Age doesn't matter.
It's true.
It's for me. I was already in my late 40s when I obtained my bachelor's degree.
Wow.
I've done it. You can do it. Take one class at a time. But if this is what you're inspired to do, go ahead and do it. Don't listen to the naysayers. Naysayers is going to say no because they don't have the courage to try.
Wow. I have nothing else to say. She said it, and I'm so excited that you joined us today, Muriel, because your words of inspiration have not just helped our listeners, they've helped me too. I'm always looking for that next thing to keep me going as well, and you've done that today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining us. What's in the future for you before we close our podcast?
Well, the future for me, as I say, I am working on providing a complete program where you can purchase it online or you can do a one-on-one to have people be able to own their own business,
Mm-hmm.
A to Z.
Okay, all right. Well, that is wonderful. Again, we will put Muriel's contact information. And I just want to remind you all that this is our last podcast on becoming an author. And I hope that you have seen something that helps you to be that author and make that decision. So I'm going to close the broadcast now, and I ask that you will remember that live your best life, not just today or just tomorrow, but live it right now, because you deserve to live your best life in your 50-somethings. Again, Muriel, thank you for joining us, and we will see you on the next podcast.
Thank you for having me, and thank Miss Ivy Scatliff-Linton, who invited me to your group several years ago.
Oh, that's right. Hi, Ivy. How are you? I see her at church all the time, and it is wonderful when you have someone who can refer people to you. And since that referral, we've been able to do a lot of things together, Muriel, and I really appreciate you.
Ivy is my little cousin.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Ms. Garrison. Thank you so much for having me.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome. All right, everyone, have a great Monday.
Thank you.